Today is Wednesday, and we are leaving West Yellowstone, the town of West Yellowstone. It was 42 degrees when we were packing up. It's still chilly. I'm wearing my heated puffy vest. And we've got about 15 miles to get back on track. We had to detour a little bit to find someplace affordable to stay. And we're trying to get an earlier start because today's going to be a big one mileage-wise. Approximately 270 miles. It is supposed to warm up probably to 80 today. The plan is basically we go back to Island Park or whatever it's called, and then we've got probably 80 miles to Lima. I think most of that's going to be gravel forest roads, and then something like 140 to a place I can't remember where we refill fuel, and then on our way to camp ideally, although man, that's gonna be chilly camping tonight. I guess we gotta do it one night to get the full experience.
ahead. I'm going to clean my mirrors. You want to clean yours?
Nah. All right, I'll see you in a little bit.
was no Steve behind me. So I've ridden back a couple of miles to see what's going on. Hope he doesn't have a flat. This does not look good. What happened?
Well, a little ways back, I started seeing steam. The legs getting wet. The radiators let out all its juice.
Uh-oh.
I can't find where it's doing it. I can't even find where to put water in it to get something in it because I have JB Weld.
Okay.
I thought it would be all right because this is air cooled and liquid cooled, but I went for a while and it's fucking over. So I took the shield off it, and you can see it's.
Oh man.
So I've taken the seat off. I've taken this off. I can't see where to put the fluid.
Well, this is now turned into a retrieval and repair mission. It sucks. We put some water in the radiator and tried to see if we could figure out where it was leaking from, but we could not. So I'm headed back to Lima to try to find someone or a repair shop or somebody. I'm guessing if I'm lucky, there's something there, and we'll have to come out, grab the bike, haul back to Lima, get the radiator repaired, and hopefully get it repaired today, and if we're lucky, lose only a half day. That'll still work on schedule. We just can make it up over the weekend. So it's 32 miles back to Lima. So about an hour until I find somebody, probably. And Steve does have a satellite communicator that's with two-way texting, so we can be in touch. Oh boy. This sucks. I would rather he had a nail in the tire. The other thought is that if Steve has to stay there for like an overnight repair or something, we're basically following the interstate parallel. So I could go up ahead and then he could catch up to me tomorrow by leapfrogging all this slow stuff on the freeway. I was just thinking that we hadn't had any drama in a couple of days, and this morning was so smooth and yesterday was smooth. I was thinking that we were home free to the end. To go quickly, but I'm not gonna ride dangerously. We don't need two disasters in one day.
So I'm here with Steve. We're doing a little chat. When I was editing this video, I realized that I've got a couple more clips from this day, but I don't really have enough of the story of what happened here with Steve's bike breakdown. So Steve's joining us, via modern technology, and let's hear from your perspective what happened.
All right. Well, sitting here in Maine now, 2 months later, and I'm 60 years old, so I'll try not to have a memory lapse. That morning we left Lima, Montana. It was beautiful. And we were, I would say, about 30 miles outside of town. I let you get ahead because I was chewing your dust all day and I kind of got sick of that. So I'm just riding along, beautiful road, beautiful scenery out in the middle of, it seemed like a desert. I'm thinking it was in the 90s, had to be in the low 90s. But I'm riding along and all of a sudden I look down and this fluid being pissed all over my pants. So I went a little bit further and figured, oh, this can't be good. And all of a sudden the temperature gauge on the Triumph started going up and up and up. So what I did is I just stopped. I knew I was in trouble. So I saw everything leaking out. Tried to put a little water in from my container and it leaked right out the bottom. So evidently what happened is there's a weep hole down by the oil filter. And evidently that, I think it was a water pump or an oil pump that failed. So the water was just coming right out the bottom.
You said when you finally got service, it was some kind of part failure, like a pump failure.
Right, but I had originally thought it was the fan on the back of the radiator that had pierced the radiator itself.
Yeah, so did I.
That's the only thing that made sense to me because I took the guard off the radiator, which I had an aftermarket guard. It was a good one. Obviously, there's no damage there. So I'm like, what the hell? So what I did is I stopped and I knew I was in trouble, but I knew my friend John would soon come back to the rescue. So what happens is John came back and we sat there and chatted for a bit and there was no solution on the trail right there. There was just nothing we could do. So we didn't have cell signal. So John went back to Lima, Montana, which is about 30 miles. I had my Zoleo, so I was able to message him. So I was all cool with that, all comfortable. I was messaging my family back in Maine.
That thing was awesome to have.
Oh, it is. It is. It integrates with the iPhone perfectly. So it's just great. So John went back to Lima to find out what he could figure out. I mean, we're talking Lima has a population of 170 people. They have a cafe, a gas station, but they have one mechanic. So John got a hold of this mechanic who said, yeah, I can't really do anything. I don't do much with that. And John was doing that. Meanwhile, I'm back on the motorcycle. I took the seat off, I took the tank off, and I was trying to inspect everything. But what I did is I took my ground cover and I made a lean-to because it was so friggin' hot out there. So I made a little tent. So I've been there a while and my ground cloth is red. So all of a sudden, coming from the other way is a KTM 990 and a Yamaha T7. So evidently red is a sign of distress. So these guys pull up on me and think they are gonna find a dead person under this tarp. So it was pretty funny. So those guys helped me out quite a bit, cheered me up quite a bit. But at the same time, I knew John was taking care of me on the other end. But
well, I was striking out though. I was trying to get a tow truck and that wasn't working. And
right. And I have AAA and they said, oh, we don't go off road. Well, here I am 30 miles off pavement. So
yeah, so that was, I was trying hard, but we were really lucky that those guys rolled up.
Oh, really lucky. So all of a sudden, the guy on the T7 says, I've done this before. It's no big deal. He said, put your put your rear kick foot peg down, and I'm going to hold out my left foot against my right passenger peg. This guy pushed me 30 miles back to Lima, Montana.
Yeah.
So we'd come to a corner, he'd get me going real fast, and I'd go around the corner unassisted. He'd catch back up to me, stick his leg out, and push me for 30 miles back to the height.
That's pretty badass. And that road was, that little canyon road was twisty and gravelly and pretty wicked. So I'm sure that was kind of a adventure in itself right there.
I don't know how his leg felt the next day, but man, I'm glad it wasn't my leg.
Yeah, those dudes seem pretty tough though.
Yeah. Anyway, that guy was an unsung hero. I didn't even get his name. Thanked him.
Oh, really?
I wanted to give him some money. No, wouldn't even hear of it. So these guys were just friggin' awesome. So eventually I got it back to the shop in Lima. I knew it was bad news. So I encouraged John to go ahead with the ride. If I could fix the bike, I would do that and catch up to him. So the next day I got with the mechanic. He thought it was a leak in the back of the radiator, but we went to flush it with a hose and it just came right out the weep hole in the bottom. So right about then we knew it was bad news. So we started calling some Triumph dealers and mechanics, one in Maine and one local. Well, there's nothing local to there.
Yeah.
But, they all said, yeah, it's probably a pump and you're pretty much screwed. So I called all these places and they said, yeah, what you can do is you can haul the bike to us. We will take a look at it and diagnose it, figure out what it is, fix it when we have time. And I'm in the middle of nowhere in Montana. I'm from Maine, so that just didn't work. So,
and we were trying to figure out, okay, well, if it takes a day to get it fixed, then you can catch up to me. But it pretty soon turned into the trail.
I mean, I even went to the gas station, bought, I think it's called Stop Leak, that I was just going to dump in the radiator and hope it worked. But first we tried to flush the whole system out and it didn't work. And we're like, oh, well, that's not going to do any good. So I knew I was pretty much screwed. So from there, I just had to do a bunch of crap. And
you had to get a tow truck to Idaho Falls or something.
What I did is I had the mechanic. So I had to pay the mechanic to troubleshoot the bike. And then I paid him to drive me and the bike to Idaho Falls because that's where the closest airport was.
Oh, he drove you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, his dad did actually, the mechanic's dad. So I found a place to store the motorcycle. Actually in Idaho Falls, it was a great guy with a motorcycle shop and he was just opening a Triumph dealership. He said, just put it here. I won't charge you anything. So I kept it there, made arrangements to have it picked up and he helped with everything. We dropped the bike off at the warehouse. I got a ride to the airport, flew home. So
yeah,
$2,500 later, the bike got back to Maine to a Triumph dealer and they did diagnose it and it is under warranty. So right now they're fixing the bike. And once that's done, we start discussing if they will pay for my flight and shipping and all that.
So does this change your opinion of your decision to take the Scrambler on the Continental Divide ride?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean,
I don't think so.
It's an unfortunate time to discover a defective pump, but otherwise it seemed like the bike was awesome.
The bike was awesome. It was awesome. Performed flawlessly, and I had less troubles last year on a DR650. I mean, that thing to me was bulletproof. Right. But I'm not going to blame the bike. I'll get it back and see what I want to do. So.
Do you think you'll ever go back to ride the Divide again?
Well, if you go with me.
Okay. Yeah, there's some parts we had to do some ride arounds. Maybe we need to go see what we missed.
Yeah, I've done a couple big rides the last 2 years. I'm not sure what the next one will be, but
okay,
you'll know soon enough.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. Any other closing words?
No, I think that's it. I knew it was going to be a long time before I got my bike back. So what I did is I went out and bought a 2006 BMW GSA 1150.
You need to stop doing these big rides because you get impatient waiting for your bike to be shipped home and you end up buying more motorcycles.
I know. I only have 6 now. So, but 3 of them are older. 3 of them are more than 50 years old. So,
yeah. And speaking of one of them, you just what year's the
It's a
CT90?
1970 Honda CT90 that I met Angelo on the very tip end of the Northeast BDR, and we finished the ride. It was awesome.
That's
Great.
cool.
Yeah.
So I'm sure most people watching my channel know Ange,
Oh, yeah.
Some Guy Ride. So stay tuned for some Steve riding, Steve rides on that episode with Ange coming up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool, man. All right. Good to talk to you, brother.
All right. Until next time, buddy.
Until next time.
All right.
Thanks.
See ya.
What's the
So
deal?
it runs for a while and then it overheats.
Okay. Okay, well, here's the update. Steve is limping his bike back to Lima, where there's a rest area with air conditioning and a men's room and everything, and he's gonna sort his plan out, which is he's got to find a shop that'll do the work. That's been hard to find any place that'll even work on it. And then he's got to figure out how to get his bike to that place, whether it's in a U-Haul or tow. And that may put him behind a couple of days. So I'm continuing on solo, which I'm not real thrilled about. But in order for me to stay on schedule, I have to get to Butte, Montana tonight. And it's 5 o'clock. And I don't really want to dilly-dally. So I've just programmed in my GPS to get me to Butte via back roads, avoid highways and tolls. And I'll get there at 8 o'clock. And I think that's smarter than trying to do 185 miles of trail. So that kind of stinks. But I think if I get to Butte, I'll be back on schedule. And then tomorrow I have 196 miles by myself, possibly with this other guy I know from the Honda Trail CT125 Club or Facebook group. So, and then I'll be to the border. Well, I'll be to Sealy Lake. And then it's 120 miles to the border. So I think I'm gonna probably finish it solo. Sucks.